Hello everyone, today we are going to start 9.4 graphing sine and cosine functions. So I draw the plane here. Let's write the values. Here is the angle 0, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi and 2 pi. There is a sine theta and cos theta. Sine theta value at 0 is 0. At pi by 2, it's 1. At pi is 0. At 3 pi by 2, it's negative 1. At 2 pi, it is 0. So let's plot this point here. At 0, it's 0. At pi by 2, it's 1. Then at pi 0, negative 1. And that again 0. Try to connect these dots. I connect this, it's go down, and this. So this is the basic curve of sine x. After 2 pi or before 0, the same part of the curve is repeated infinitely many times. So it can be extended with the same length, same width. It can be extended from the both sides. Now for the values of cos theta, at 0 it's 1, at pi by 2 it's 0, at pi it's negative 1, at 3 pi by 2 it's 0, and at 2 pi it is 1. Plot these points also. At 0 it's 1, then 0, negative 1, 0 and 1. So trace in a curve way. Up, down, then curve, and this. This is the basic curve for cos theta, and this is for sine theta. This value is known as a amplitude of the function. Amplitude means the height attained by the curve from its mean position. This is the mean. The curve is symmetric about that. So that means above and below, it has the same height. This is a 1. You can see this is also 1. You can say it's a negative 1, but if I only work with the magnitude, it's still 1. So that is known as the amplitude of the function. Amplitude means the height from the mean position. So amplitude is 1. Here the amplitude is again 1. Okay. One curve starts at 0 and it ends at a 2 pi. After 2 pi, the same curve is going to repeat. So the one curve, it's a complete from 0 to 2 pi. That is known as a period of the function. So period of the function is 2 pi. It means it takes total 2 pi length to complete its one curve which contains one crest and one trough. For the cos theta, it start here, it's go down and then go up. It's the same again, one complete curve is there. After 2 pi, it will be this and go like that. For before 0, it will be like this. So again same thing, it takes total 0 to 2 pi. So that means 2 pi length is required to complete this basic curve. So period is 2 pi. Period. That is 2 pi here. Another word will be there is cycle. It will be cycle. Cycle is the shortest distance for a curve of a repeated part. So the shortest distance of a repeated part is a cycle. So it's a cycle. The one cycle complete 0 to 2 pi. One cycle is complete under 0 to 2 pi. So whatever we done up to this, let's consider under the characteristics. So characteristics for sine theta and cosine theta. Characteristics of sine and cosine. The first is amplitude. Amplitude. You can also find the amplitude maximum value minus minimum value divide by 2. It will give you amplitude. Next is range. Range of the function. Range means the y value. What are the y values this function is attaining? It can take minimum -1 and the maximum 1 here. So minimum -1, maximum 1 and all values between them also. Okay. Now next is the period of the function. If a function repeat its particular length or particular curve is repeated in the function, we will say the function is periodic. And the smallest length that is known as a, or you can say the shortest portion is known as a cycle. And the length of portion, small portion that is repeating, it's known as a period of function. In the both cases, sin x and cosine x, we got the period is 2 pi. Okay. So I will write the period is 2 pi. Okay. So let's do an example. For generalized value, y equals to a sine bx. If you are provided by this function, the amplitude will be absolute value of a. Period of the function will be 2 pi over b. Maximum value will be a. Minimum value is minus a. And if you remember the transformations, this a is known as a vertical. It's a vertical stretch or shrink. It may be stretch or shrink. It's depend upon the a value, right? If a is greater than 1, then it is a stretch by factor a. If a is between 0 to 1, then it is a shrink by factor a. B. B will tell you horizontal stretch and shrink. Horizontal stretch and shrink. Horizontal stretch and shrink is if b is greater than 1, then it is a horizontal shrink by factor 1 by b. If b is between 0 to 1, then it is a horizontal stretch by factor 1 over b. Okay, these are the transformation of the basic function sine x. Same thing for cosine x. So see, I draw a generalized graph for a sine bx. I'm taking a as a positive number. So it is maximum a, minimum is minus a, the period is 2 pi over absolute b. I am taking absolute value of b because it's possible when it is a reflection along the y-axis, your x will be considered as a negative x. So it's possible it will be negative bx. But period is a length. It cannot be negative. So I'm taking the absolute value here. Okay. So this is the half of this term. It's pi over absolute b. And the highest value will be at pi by 2 absolute b comma a. Minimum value at this point, which is minus a by 2 pi absolute comma minus a. So this is the generalized graph of a sine bx because it's a general function in which a and b is not clearly mentioned. It can change. You can vary a and b and your graph will shift accordingly. So here is a question. We have to identify the amplitude and period of this function gx, which is a 4 sine x. So let's see. Gx is equals to 4 times sine x. The amplitude will be absolute value of 4. Absolute 4 is just a 4. And sine x. What will be the period here? It will be 2 pi over b. What is b? 1. Absolute 1 is 1. So period is 2 pi. If you have to graph it, it's the same graph sine x. The only difference is the maximum value and the minimum value change. The amplitude is 4 now. So maximum value is 4, minimum is negative 4. Okay. The period is same, 0 to 2 pi. This middle value will be pi. Here it's a pi by 2 and this is 3 pi by 2. Yeah? So here's the next question. It says identify the amplitude of and period of the function. Then graph the function. Describe the graph of g as a transformation. Okay. So your gx is 1 by 2 cos 2 pi x. What is amplitude? Amplitude of the function is absolute value of 1 by 2. This 1 by 2 period of the function. Period is 2 pi over absolute value of this, which is also 2 pi. That means the period is 1. Be careful now. The highest value is half. Minimum will be negative half. And thus it's a complete, it's a one cycle up to 1. Unit length 1. So it start at the top, go bottom down, and then up to this one, like this. Okay, let's make it more smooth. That's it. Here you can consider like this. This value is half, this is negative half, period is 1, this value is 1 by 2, this is 0. Don't say why it's not pi, because now the x value is without pi. X values are without pi. Okay, so this is the graph. Now we have to find what is the transformation used if your original function is a cos x. See, what is vertical stretch and shrink and what is a horizontal stretch and shrink in this case? Outside is a 1 by 2. Because the number is less than 1, in between 0 to 1, so this is a vertical shrink. Vertical shrink by factor 1 by 2. And what about a horizontal? The number is a 2 pi, which is a greater than 1, so it's a horizontal shrink. Horizontal shrink by factor. You have to take reciprocal of the value. Reciprocal of 2 pi, it's 1 by 2 pi. So this is the transformation used. Are you getting this thing? You can pause the video and repeat it. Now it's a more generalized case when more transformations are introduced, like left shift, right shift, that. Y equals to A sine x minus h plus k. There is a B as well. Now, this will tell you amplitude. Amplitude. Just take the absolute value. That means this is used to find amplitude, you can say. This is used to find period. This will tell you how much your graph is shifted, left or right. This is also known as a phase shift, or you can just say is horizontal shift, left or right. If h is positive in this case, like x minus 1, then it is a 1 unit right side shift. If it is a x plus 1 is there, so h is a negative. So function is shifted 1 unit left. What about this? This will tell you midline. Midline. This is a horizontal shift. Horizontal shift. I'm not saying this is amplitude. I just say this is used to find amplitude. This is not a period. This is used to find the period. So midline. All the previous questions that we did, there was no extra term outside added. No extra term added, that means it was 0. That's why the midline was y equals to 0. Here, let's write one by one. Absolute A is amplitude. 2 pi over absolute B is period. H units right if H is positive. Midline y equals to k is midline. Okay, let's have an example that maybe it will be more clear then. We are calculating amplitude, period, shift and midline. Horizontal shift and midline. Amplitude absolute 2, which is 2. Period is 2 pi over absolute 4, which is a pi by 2. Horizontal shift, no any shift because nothing subtracted or added with x. So no horizontal shift. So that means it will start from 0. It starts with the value 0. Midline. Y equals to 3 is a midline. How to graph this? I am graphing the basic function sine x. So this is a 0 to 2 pi. The period is a pi by 2 now. So this value instead of 2 pi, it is a pi by 2. Amplitude is 2. So highest value 2, minimum value minus 2. 3, y equals to 3 is the midline. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. 3 is the midline, means this graph is started at this. Done. This is a midline. We have learned the maximum value of sine x is 1 and the minimum is negative 1. If it is a 1, then 2 ones are 2 plus 3, 5. So maximum value is a 5. Minimum 2 into negative 1, it's negative 2 plus 3. So it's negative 1. Minimum value is negative. Minus 2 plus 3. So minimum value is 1. So you can see minimum value is 1 and the maximum value is a 5 here. Alright. So this is the graph. For all the graph, whatever you have to draw, you must know how to draw the basic graph of sine x. Other are just transformation of them. You are stretching, shrinking, left, right, up, down. You are just making a transformations on that only. Okay. For calculating the more values, 0 to pi by 2. Pi by 2 is a period. This half value is at pi by 4. And the more half is a pi by 8. And this will be 3 pi by 8. So maximum at a pi by 8, minimum value at 3 pi by 8. So coordinates will be pi by 8, 5. And this coordinates will be 3 pi by 8, 1. This is a minimum coordinate for the minima. This is a coordinate for maxima in a one period. Okay. It is repeated many times. So you have a maxima again, minima again. But we are only working with the one period of the term. Whatever the transformation we learn here for sine x, same transformations for the cosine function. So see. Amplitude. Absolute value of 5, which is a 5. Period. Period of the function is 2 pi over absolute value of half. So it's a 4 pi. Shifts. It's a 3 pi shift on the right side. 3 pi right side. Anything else? Midline. Midline is nothing added outside. So that means midline is y equals to 0. So here I draw the basic function in which the amplitude is a 5, okay, and the period is 2 pi. But what is the period here? Period is a 4 pi. So period is a 4 pi. So start with 0 and with the 4 pi. This done, period done. Now shift 3 pi. Instead of starting 0, they are saying you have to start with the 3 pi. 3 pi is here. So your graph will shifted 3 pi units right. The graph is shifted like this. It's a 3 pi units right. So this is the graph. Then midline y equals to 0. Midline is the same, y equals to 0. So it start at 3 pi. It will end at a 7 pi. You can see the distance between 3 pi to 7 pi is a 4 pi. And the period was a 4 pi. Period remains same, 4 pi. Amplitude maximum value 5. Minimum is negative 5. You can find the coordinates. 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, and there is a 5 pi. So the minimum coordinates are 5 pi, comma, negative 5. Maximum coordinates are 3 pi, comma, 5, 7 pi, comma, 5. Done. Okay, this is the graph. Pause the video and repeat it. Graph it yourself. We did stretch and shrink. We done shifts up and down, left, right. Now it's a reflections. Reflection. Reflection. If negative is multiplied outside the function, so the reflection is a reflection in the x-axis. So horizontal line will be the reflection axis. That will be worked as a mirror. So everything remains same. You can find amplitude. I'm directly writing absolute of -2 is 2. Period. Period of the function is 2 pi over absolute value of 2 by 3. So you will get 3 pi. Period is a 3 pi. Shifts. It's pi by 2 units right. Then midline is 0. Y equals to 0. Let's draw it. It's a sin x function, right? Okay. So here is a sin x function. Midline is a 0. Highest value 2. Minimum value -2. Pi by 2 units right. What is amplitude? So first it was a 2 pi. It becomes 3 pi now. If it is a 3 pi, this will be 3 pi by 2. This is a half of 3 pi by 2, so that is 3 pi by 4. And this is next is a 9 pi by 4. Okay, then it says it's a pi by 2 units right. If this is a 3 pi by 4, half of 3 pi by 4 is 3 pi by 8. Where is a pi by 2 will lie? Where pi by 2 will lie? It is in between this. So your graph is start from here. This. So this point is at 7 pi by 2. How I calculate? Just add pi by 2 in 3 pi. So highest value is a 2, minimum is minus. But the graph was a reflection in the x-axis. Graph is the same, I just reflect this graph. Okay, you can remove this. This is the function we have to find. So this point is a 11 pi by 4 comma 2, and this is a 5 pi by 4 comma 2. The other way to remember how to find the coordinates. Let's see how to compare with the original sine theta and theta values. Here it is for 0 to 2 pi, but now the period is 3 pi. What is the extra term multiplied? 2 by 3. It's a horizontal stretch by factor 3 by 2. So multiply each number with the 3 by 2. 3 by 2. 3 by 2. 3 by 2. and 3 by 2. After this, you have to add pi by 2 to the each term. Add pi by 2 each term. Pi by 2. Pi by 2. And pi by 2. Let's see what you will get. I'm calculating this. It will give you. So I'm getting these after solving. Okay. So now here this part is done. This one. Minus 2 is a vertical shift. So the value in which it is a 1, 0, minus 1, these values are multiplied by minus 2 now. Each number multiplied by minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2 and minus 2. Simplify. 0, minus 2, 0, 2 and 0. So check it. You get the minimum value at 5 pi by 4, the maximum value at 11 pi by 4. You can also calculate this. Directly you can also calculate. Here it's, if you want to go with the basic values, there is another way also. Okay. So this topic is done. I hope you understand. Thanks for watching.